Hello, this is William Bowman, and I'm recording this video for Rebecca over at Howl and Woof. Thank you so much for allowing me to record this video. I want to explain exactly what I found on your website and show you a couple things that you guys can change in order to start getting some better results and some more traffic heading your way digitally. So in order to do that, I want to explain some things so you have an understanding of how to implement the changes and be able to tell when the changes are actually working. Because, honestly, results is what we're after here, right? So I'm going to be covering the volume of clients looking for your services in your specific area, what your top online competitor is doing to win that volume currently, and some things that you can do this exact moment on your site to start winning those clients in the future. So whenever I'm looking through your site, I do really like your site, honestly. I love this big boy right here, and it looks like they're having a good time. Now, as I'm scrolling through, I did notice that you guys have a couple different pages, which is great. You definitely want to have multiple pages here. I did notice that there was kind of a lack of content on some of these back pages, and that's one thing that I do want to bring up. For your front page, for your front home page, typically you want to have anywhere between 1,000 to 1,500 words on this front page. And then on any of the back pages, you want anywhere between 300 to 500 words. And there's a specific reason for that, right? I'm not telling you to just add a bunch of content for no reason. The reason is because you want to be able to repeat keywords about 5 or 6 times per page. And you don't want it to feel like it's forced, or you don't want to feel like it's like cluttered together. So that's definitely the first recommendation. And I'm going to kind of talk a little bit more about keywords here in a second, because keywords are simply just what somebody would throw into Google in order to find a service, right? But I did just notice one last thing about your website. You don't have this secure, it's not secure. So typically when you go to your website, you see this little lock. It means that you are sending encrypted data back and forth between yourself and any of your users. And what happens when you don't have this as a secure, sometimes whenever you search through Google, if I were to click on your site or something, if I found it here, it would give me a warning and basically tell me that I'm not going to a safe place on the internet because the data is not encrypted back and forth. So that can actually scare off potential clients, and it could result in you losing traffic. People that may come to your site, they may not stay there because they're like, oh, no, I don't want to be in a dangerous place on the internet. And this SSL certificate is how you would get that little lock. It's actually a lot less complicated than how it sounds. If you just Google SSL certificate, you could probably find one for the specific website builder that you used for your website. It's not hard to get. Just go and grab that. It can make a difference for your rankings as well. Google likes to see that you have a secure and safe website. So when we pop through and we do a search with these keywords, I want to show you kind of the results. So first and foremost, you're going to see ads at the top. I'm really glad to see that you guys aren't here, because honestly, what will happen a lot of the times is people will see the word ad and they'll just keep scrolling. No, but I definitely do that. But there is, this can be useful depending on your industry to give you some clients up front, but I don't recommend it long term because it can get expensive. Now, if you're a national company like All Dogs Unleashed and you have the budget for it, go right ahead. But if you want something more long term and more cost effective, I would recommend using this kind of on and off and not really using it as the main strategy to gain customers. Now, the next area is the Google Map Pack. This actually is a great place, and it is cost effective. If you don't have this, definitely go set it up. You can just go to GMB or Google My Business and you can input your information. Now, there is ways to get it, optimized to where you're in the top 3, at all times and things like that, depending on where you're in the city. But honestly, if you don't have it, just go out and get it, because even if you don't plan on optimizing it to get it up here, what will happen is if somebody even knows that who they're going to use, if they know you by name, sometimes they will still search for you and try and find your reviews. And if you don't have your GMB set up, they won't be able to see reviews, and they might not think that the company has a reputation behind it. So they might, steer away. So if you don't have this, please go set that up. If that's the one thing you follow from this video, it does make a difference. And putting this website here, this website link, actually helps you rank. So it's a win-win. Now, when we get down here, we're going to see this is what's called the organic search area. And this is where I want to spend my time, because this actually is where the lion's share of the volume goes to. And I'm going to click on, the these are national companies, and yeah, you can get to the point where you can compete with these big boys, but honestly, I went to the very first what looks like a local business, so you can get a realistic view of kind of what they're doing to be ranked third, and I can also show you some of the volumes they're getting. So if we come over here, we can see that they do have quite a bit of content, right? They do have probably 300-400 words. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. But I don't want to spend my time looking at their site, right? I want to show you what's underneath the hood. So if I come over here, this is my analytical tool to see what's underneath the hood on these websites. And then I'll pull up your website next so we can kind of see how they compare. But this one, for example, it has the UR and DR. So these URs and DRs, these are kind of like two measures that you can utilize to see how well you are ranking up in your industry based on your site and industry and location. They are indicators that show you how well you're doing. So a UR is your URL rating. It's basically like the trustworthiness of your specific page. Then your DR is your domain rating. This is like the power or the reputation of your site as a whole. So both of these, you want them to raise together. You notice how they're only 2 points apart. They're doing a good job of keeping them together as they raise them up. But the way to raise them up is through utilizing backlinks. That's a huge strategy to raise these numbers. But what is a backlink? So a backlink simply, it's just like if I were to write a blog and say, hey, Howl and Woof, they're the best in town. Go use them. And I put a link to your site, that's a backlink. That's a very high quality backlink if that blog post were to be on a very well-known blog with that holds clout in the industry, or if it's like an award or something like that, that could be a very high quality backlink. An example of a lower quality backlink that might only raise your UR and not your DR is something like a BBB, Better Business Bureau posting. You just go and put your information there, put a site to your website. That's a backlink that you can get very quickly, but it's not a very high quality backlink. It's useful to raise the UR, but it's not going to really touch your DR. Now, I want to show you what words they're actually ranking for and what kind of volumes are behind those words. So Dog Training Austin, volume is 450. On average, 450 people search this exact keyword every single month. Dog Obedience Training Austin, 100, 150. Puppy Training, Dog School Austin, 100. You start seeing that these volumes will add up very quickly. And you see the position over here, so these ranks. Of course, if you're ranked, 8 or 9, odds are you're not really going to get too much of the people that are actually searching this. So you definitely want to get as highly ranked as possible. But these volumes do add up. Now let's look at what your site's kind of doing. And when we pop over here, we see that your UR is 10, your DR is 1.2. I'm guessing that you have quite a few backlinks that are directory related, so that's why your UR is up. But I would say focus on some good high quality backlinks. That way you can move this DR up. It gets harder to move the DR the more out of whack and out of sync these numbers get. So definitely, go ahead and start putting in some high quality ones to raise them kind of equally. Next thing, it doesn't matter how high these numbers are if you don't have any keywords to rank for. So definitely go and take a look at the content, sprinkle in those keywords, please. That way, as you're raising these numbers, you're actually starting to rank. So those are kind of my recommendations. I'll go over them one more time really quickly for you so you have a summary. So content, get the 1,000 to 1,500 words, sprinkle in the keywords. That way you can actually get some volume from them. Then if you don't have your GMB, definitely do that. Also, get your SSL certificate to encrypt this page to make sure it's encrypted back and forth. And if you do those things, I think that you will see a difference in the volume of people that are finding you digitally and increase the amount of clients that you're getting on the web. I hope this information was useful. If you could please give me some feedback, I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to make these videos as easy to understand, as easy to follow as possible. But thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a great day.